you,
Hello.
and greetings you,
Hi.
because we're all in this together. So we are here in the moment with Miss K
And Jay.
Mother-daughter duo.
Yes.
Yes, that's going to be the new thing. Definitely lifting up that relationship between mother and daughter. Eating healthy food. Eating healthy food. That's what we like to see. So today's topic is in honor of today being April 20th. And for some of us, April 20th is a day that we acknowledge and I guess allow people to smoke in public. And by smoke, we're talking about smoking weed.
Gives people the excuse to indulge sometimes.
And if you use the word excuse and
excuse by like maybe they don't do it on the normal, but because today's 420,
yeah,
they're gonna do it.
But in my opinion, if this is something I don't do on the normal,
I'm saying like there's some people are avid, or some people if they go out to it, but maybe they don't go out as often. But when they do go out, they'll do it.
Yeah,
I've seen people that do that. That they not all the time. They're not like compared to other people that I know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how definitely. It's a question of whether or not you view that day as an opportunity to indulge and smoke and whatnot. So, and I think that brings me to the question and wonderment of what is it that we're looking for when we get high? And in this case, I guess we can keep the subject specific to marijuana, but I think definitely with marijuana, we are in a unique time or change in culture for that matter from when I was growing up, and you could indeed get arrested for having a dime bag, nickel bag, or whatever the case is, and people were arrested, most of those being people of color were arrested for selling, distribution, and I believe...
And still to this day. Well, not, but up until recently. That has definitely still been a thing.
But with the legalization of marijuana, definitely those laws have changed. I believe there's even a movement or a political agenda item about the Rockefeller laws and how a lot of those laws impacts people of color. But bringing that conversation a little closer to us, what are the thoughts of people when they get high? You know, what are they looking for? What's your thoughts about that?
I would say an experience. It's definitely an experience. So people might be looking for a certain relaxation moment, a mellow moment. Should I speak personally? Do I speak for myself?
No, I don't want to hear personal right now. I'm still your mother, so I want to keep the topic where I can still smile. Not get into that mad, resting mother bitch face. I think I have one of those, you know?
I have one of those too, so I get it from you.
But let's keep it more...
So, yeah, I definitely think people look for, a moment, a vibe, something to take their mind off of everyday life, maybe.
Escapism?
Escapism.
Okay.
I said relaxation, an escapism, because it's a moment.
All right. And since we are, our goals are staying in the moment, I find it very interesting that sometimes we have to escape from our moments and numb feelings. I don't know if there's a positive view of the need to use drugs. Like for instance, I know that some people medicate hurt, they medicate trauma, and in that sense, I don't know how impactful and positive drug use can be. And people might even...
some people use it to... I know people who are in like creative spaces, but I don't know about the positivity of it. I don't know, but I know some people, it amplifies their creativeness.
Okay, I'll take both creativity and creativeness. We have to check our dictionary and our pronunciation. But I think for me is once you want to escape from something, I don't know if it's a good thing. Okay. And the practice of it. But I was about to say, and you have a tendency to like before I finish my thought. You did.
I didn't.
I think you did. Because I've forgotten it now. But anyway, oh yes, that's what I was going to say. Marijuana, for some people, if you were to look at the hierarchy of drugs, marijuana, yes, marijuana is at the bottom.
Yeah.
Especially now that we're it's in a legal, it's definitely changed its historical perception, and even that has its deeper conversations.
Right.
But so marijuana use might not be viewed as the worst thing to do, and again, you and I, we're definitely not in a place of judging people's use of it. It's definitely a private decision, and I think with this new where we are now, marijuana, I guess, has its place for some people. I feel that definitely marijuana may be something that people use to have a good time, as you said. It might be partying in a social setting. And I feel sometimes the distinction of drug use can be whether you're using alone or if it's in a social gathering, having fun, because I do have my familiarity with Narcotics Anonymous, AA, and the whole 12-step, and indeed those rooms want to support people staying in their moment, staying in their truth, and finding healthier ways to manage it. So I think definitely at best, marijuana is a complex thing, and it's really becoming the norm. I know when I go in public settings, CVS, drugstores, supermarket, there's telltale signs that the person standing behind me, may have just stepped out of their car smoking, and I've even seen posts where people might say, if you're stepping up to my cash register, I don't want to smell your, weed, because, so it's definitely interesting, that whole notion, and I'm not going to judge, because that's not what we're here to do. We're just to have that conversation about what it does. I think some people might use it to increase their sexual drive. It may make them a little this, make them a little that. But,
there's a reason. I think everybody has a reason. Nobody does it like... You could think that you do it just because, but there's something.
Yeah. And I think it's important for also to assess when it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
And I think for me, as your mom, I might be concerned that if you are indeed indulging in that it doesn't become a problem, that it doesn't take away from your productivity, and that it doesn't increase depression, and it just keeps you on task.
Right.
So definitely I think it's important for folks to really know when it's a problem, and to be self-aware. If you are indulging in marijuana use, what does that look like for folks?
I think when it comes to being self-aware, I feel like you definitely, when I know, like in anything, I feel like as long as I still have a choice and I can make a choice to benefit, the well-being of myself, or, whatever path I want to go on, I feel like that's when I know that I'm still aware of what's going on and I don't feel out of control. So I feel like when people lose that choice and they feel like it's a necessity and a need and they can't function without it, or that's when I feel like it becomes like that's a telltale sign of you being out of control. You can't control yourself anymore. So I think as long as you have the choice, at least that makes me feel comfortable in situations when it comes to that. So
yeah, and again, it's all about choice, as you just said. Choice is I think one of those buzzwords that will resonate for us throughout a lot of our topic discussions, is the being able to make a good choice for yourself in that moment, and making sure that it's a choice that works for you, it's a choice that's yours. And I know that sometimes peer pressure comes into play in terms of whether you use something or not. Do you think, what's been your experience with influences of peers to do anything at all? We can talk about this, but how do you handle that?
I definitely feel like, I'm speaking from personally, like just me myself. I don't think I've ever, I might have been I might have been peer pressured to make that choice. Not necessarily like peer pressured, like I felt like I was in I've been in an uncomfortable situation where it's like, oh, because my friends do, I just have to do it. Like I don't want to do it, but I have to do it. Or like that's what I think peer pressure is. It's like when you're something that you don't know if you want to do, but you're gonna do it because your friends are doing it, because you feel the pressure to do it. I might have been pressured, like I said, pressured to make a choice, and again, because maybe how I was raised, I don't know that I'm strong enough to be able to be my own person and make those choices. But I know it people can't, like some people really can't, and so I definitely think who you surround yourself with, the crowd that you're with, and you're not strong enough to make choices for yourself, then definitely peer pressure is like a big thing on why a lot of people start or can't stop or.
And for some, it could be a gateway drug. But it's funny. I find myself, I'm sitting here. I have my health educator hat on, and then I have the mommy hat on, and so it's an interesting conversation to have. And even with new laws in place, what does that mean? Because it's no longer, if I had some cautionary tales to tell you, it can't be, it's against the law, you shouldn't be doing it, you're going to get arrested. Yeah. But I think it's still important, even with the legalization of marijuana, that you still exercise some form of caution. And privacy. Yeah. And it's no different than drinking alcohol. No, I don't want to drink alcohol to the point that I'm stumbling down the block. Can't keep myself together. Can't get home. Making choices about that. So as we said, choices comes with drug use and responsibility. Yes. And I think responsibility to yourself and to others. But definitely, I think that's key in how we move forward. And so, I know for me, as your mom, I might have seen telltale signs about your own personal choices around that, and I didn't talk to you about it right away. Okay. I found myself trying to figure out how to gauge that and not be the hypocritical parent, not to do as I say, not as I do, because I have my own historical experiences. And one story for me is that this shows how somewhat clueless I might have been when I was in high school, that we had Rick James, and he's your version of Drake, maybe, Chris Brown, maybe, but in my time, he was the guy. Yeah. And he had a song out, I'm in Love with Mary Jane. And I thought he was like crooning a girl around the corner, next door, girl next door, whatever, and I'm singing the songs like I know what I'm in love. And he was actually talking about being in love with marijuana, weed. I feel like an old lady when I say marijuana.
That's like the politically correct term.
Marijuana?
Yeah.
it's the medical weed. It's the What words do we know for that? Weed. Sour.
But sour is the type of weed, but people will categorize it just as sour.
And how do I feel that you know that? Okay, you're an adult.
But that's even if I didn't, I would know that, because that's just like that's a culture. It's a culture. I would have heard.
And you're aware of the culture.
Yeah,
I suppose. The culture, the weed culture.
Not even the weed. I'm just talking about youth culture. Like if you don't know,
youth, okay.
It's like if you don't like even if you don't, it's like at least what you're around. Like if you're especially being
sure. Black, and as you said,
like I'm bringing a race into it, because maybe like it might like in our culture, I feel like when it comes to, maybe I'm getting too deep. Am I getting too deep?
Well, you mentioned the race.
Because I don't know if I don't know how, I don't know, because I don't. Is it all the same? Like, I don't think, would white people be like, sour?
Girl, come on.
You really think? I really don't think so. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Because I haven't grown up.
If we know that, we already know that, and I don't, some races are very tricky thing. Yeah, but we do know that white culture has also embraced the black culture.
You're right.
In different ways, different aspects. So I think on one level, sometimes it doesn't matter the race. Yeah. It just may be this is what's going on. We just don't know what's going on in the
there,
other culture because we're just here. And that shows that we need to maybe expand our experiences and have conversations with people that look different from us. But at least for me, I feel that I would hope, that's my desire, that I have given you enough of a foundation that you can make choices around your drug use, you know. And I'm going to include all drugs, alcohol, marijuana, cocaine, all those things, you know, that at minimum that I've given you a foundation that even if you veer off, even if you find yourself in an unknown place, that you have that foundation that says, you know what, this is not me.
Yeah.
Let me step back. Let me get help. Let me seek support. Let me recalibrate. You know, some of us have to. But some of us, you know, I mean, I definitely wish folks have a good April 20th. If you decide that you want to hang out and smoke in a park and have fun, you know, and it's just all about responsibility. Doing it so that you know for yourself why you're doing it, how you know, I think that's what's most important. For you to know why you're doing it, what you want out of it, and
what you want from that moment.
Correct. I agree. What you want from that moment, because you did use some buzzwords, escapism. That was my word. But you talked about being able to relax, you know, whatever. And for me, I know one of the things I'm benefiting from with where we are right now with the legalization is the CBD components. You know, I do, now that I'm of a certain age, I do have challenges sleeping. Don't know when that happened. You don't have that challenge, do you? You sleep just fine. All of a sudden, one day I woke up and I said, man, I didn't get any sleep. Did I just go to sleep? Or I find myself trying to get to sleep and can't, you know? So CBD has been something that was recommended that I can use and explore to get better night's sleep. So definitely I appreciate the medicinal purposes that people are trying to find in this, and I guess that's what led to it. And we know that marijuana use also is used for some people to help with their pain management, things like that. So there's a it is a plant. It is a plant.
I heard they're trying to weight loss and like they.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Like it's like a CBD
maybe. Because
that's a new little fad.
I'll play myself right now. Is that when I was younger, I know what munchies are. You know, and I've had those moments when I was in high school and I would actually think that I could smoke and then go to class, or smoke and then head to my part-time GED job where I'm working with my teachers, and that they're not going to see that my eyes are like, you know, half its size, and my eyes are already like that. So anyway, so indeed, one of my favorite words, indeed. You know, it's funny, I'm not sure if you ever noticed that sometimes there's certain words or phrases that you start to hear in different circles. And like in my meetings, there's indeed, and there's like, let's pivot.
Let's pivot! Oh my God.
So anyway, always when you're trying to make a point, you know.
Let's pivot.
Yes. So April 20th, a day of, once you use celebration, I might just say a day where people have the freedom to publicly indulge in one of their favorite activities without worrying about the cops coming after them, without worrying about fines. So that's April 20th. You can smoke, I believe. I think it's mostly only in parks. I think it's in parks.
I didn't know that. I didn't know the technicalities.
I think that, because I don't think you can really walk
down. But I've never tried to walk down the street.
Oh, thank the Lord. Thank the Lord for that.
I always try to be
I'm happy to hear that. Good choices. Good choices. So, I might have called it Green Day, but apparently that's a band. So, April 20th, the day to acknowledge that, 420. And I think all that we want and wish for our viewers is that if this is something that you acknowledge, enjoy, you know, be responsible, have fun.
Be aware.
And I know, I mean, I can appreciate that sometimes being in a certain headspace, you do have really great thoughts, great conversations. And for some people, it grounds them.
Stimulating.
Yes, and it grounds them more in the moment, you know. And I that's good.
Yeah.
Some of us need that. Some of us want that.
Yeah.
And it's okay. I mean, it's not for me to say it's okay. You don't need my permission
but don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Don't feel.
And that's not actually. I want to do a disclaimer here that we're not really condoning anything or doing something. We're just having it as a conversation because it is part of our world. It's a conversation that as within our relationship that we've had, and I've talked about concerns. So we just want to just bring that forward and just
people could probably relate.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm still planning a trip to Colorado. I want to go to the state where they're making drinks.
A whole restaurant.
And edibles.
There's a whole restaurant.
And restaurant. I know.
Like, everything on the menu.
Yes. I want to see what that's like.
Right, like, what's really
I want to see what that's like.
And it has to, like, what is it going to take, like, just has
Are you going to feel it?
I don't know what.
Is it going to, what's it going to do? I know because we have edibles now, and there's all kinds of products.
Yeah.
Business opportunities, if even. And one of the things that I know is that even with this business opportunity, it's yet again only for certain people can they walk into that business opportunity. Those who have been doing it under the table, they're even now challenged to figure out how to do it legally in such a way.
That used to be my thought. Like, I was like, oh, it's gonna get legalized now. Like, I saw other people who used to would sell behind the scenes. Like, is that gonna stop their revenue? But I feel like because it's a government thing now, it'll get taxed. Definitely taxed.
Yes.
So I definitely feel like the business hasn't run low for the underground people. Like, for people who were selling it when it was legal. Like. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story. When I was walking down 125th Street with my mom, Granny, there was a guy on the corner.
No way.
And he was selling, he had a mic. He was singing.
No!
He was singing. And then he was like, if you want a bag, I got that for you too, and yada yada. And I was like, get out. And some people say, you really selling? Are you really selling? But again, on the mic,
funny.
Not
the mic.
So definitely, people are definitely trying to find their way to profit from this legalization of marijuana and the relaxation of some of those laws. So I think for us, we wish you to have good moments today on April 20th, and that you come out of it safely. It's funny. I saw an episode of Girlfriends once, and one of the episodes, I think Tracy Ellis Ross, her character, the guy she was dating, a younger guy, I think I'm not sure how she must not have smoked. He gave her something, but I thought it was weed. But you can't not know you're not smoking weed.
Yeah.
So it was something else. I'm not sure, but she was really upset, the next day about this guy who gave her something without her awareness, and definitely the show made a clear point. I felt that they gave a stance as to where they stood on drug use, the writers. So, but again, I feel that we are not in a position to. We can only really monitor ourselves and judge what we do. We can't worry. I can worry about what you do, though.
I know. I can worry about what you do,
That's
too.
a given. Yeah. Okay. So we are still in this moment with you, and we appreciate the time that you have spent with us.
Yes.
And definitely make sure you subscribe to us.
Yes, our YouTube is #inthemomenttv. That's for our audio listeners. That is a visual, so if you guys want to just watch us, we'll be posting different kind of things on the channel. So again, that's #inthemomenttv. So,
and then
Instagram is inthemomentpodcast, no A or O in podcast. I wish it could have been simpler.
Now, if they can't find they have the O, can they still find us with just In The Moment?
You can look up Miss
on
K and J.
Instagram.
They can look up Miss K and J.
Oh, really?
Because that's our name on our Instagram page.
Okay, so look, I'm just along for the ride, the social media ride. So I don't know everything.
Yeah.
So it's good for me to now even experience how that whole marketing thing works. So,
and it'll be in our bio on the YouTube. Like, so you can find us. You can find us everywhere.
Nice. So we hope you find us. We hope you look for us, and we hope to move forward to actually have some kind of engagement with you. But we are here for now in this manner, and we are happy that we've had this time together. And I guess we say what?
Happy 420.
Yeah.
Bye.
Peace out.